Implied odds are basically chips that a player may win on future streets, such as the flop, the turn, the river, as a result of making a call on a current street. Let's take, for example, the simplistic example here. We have pocket threes, and we call a raise to 8, and we get really lucky here. We run up. We flop a full house, and we run up against a hand like jacks. Well, implied odds are, let's say, 25 goes in on the flop. On the turn, it's a 5. We win another 50. And on the river, we get really lucky. It's a deuce, and we win 125 based on the betting. So that would be one example of implied odds. It's basically, this is in addition to what is currently in the pot on that street. So, okay, let's say we have a pot here of 25, and we have player A with 210, and player B has 210 as well. Player A bets 10, so they put 10 in the pot here. Now, player B can win what's in the pot, which is 35, with a $10 call, and the implied odds could go as high as the 200 remaining in player A's stack. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is the exact number can never be certain, as there's many different factors at work. Factors such as actual holdings of the players, what they perceive their opponent's holdings to be, stack size, risk preferences, playing style. Previous history can play a huge role in that, as to how they played against each other before and what likely holdings they may have as far as ranges and stuff. And sometimes whether or not a player is up or down for the session can have an impact on what the actual implied odds are. If their chips are on lockdown, implied odds are not going to be very big. So on one end of the spectrum, the implied odds could be as high as the smallest of the stack of the two remaining players. So, okay, we have the stack right here of 150, and that's for player A. And on the other side, we have a stack of 65, and that's for player B. Now, the most that can be won by either player in this case is 65, which is the smallest stack of the two remaining players here. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, implied odds could be as low as 0. Some players just do not offer implied odds, or maybe they don't have the holdings to offer implied odds. So there's many different factors at work here. And again, it's opponent dependent. And that, goes back to these different holdings, stack sizes, and so forth. So let's take a look at two different examples on opposite ends of the spectrum here. In this first example, you have a rock. Rock holds 9s, and a leg holds 8-6 suited. Rock limps in early, leg calls behind. Flop becomes queen 9 deuce. Good flop for the rock. A rock decides to check raise. Nobody bites. Turn comes a 7, and rock decides, okay, get some value out of the hand. Rock bets $10. Leg decides to call the $10. Now, if we look at this board here, the lag can win with a 10 or a 5. So 8 cards out of 44 that are left in the deck, which comes out to approximately 18%. The pot was 10 before the rock bet, so the lag is essentially getting 2 to 1. They could win 20 on the $10 that they're calling, but the leg is calling with the hopes of winning on implied odds. So the leg calls and gets its miracle card, hits the 5 for the concealed nut straight here. Well, the rock checks, and the leg decides to bet 15. The rock ponders the bet for quite a while and decides to fold. So in this case, the implied odds are 0. So the lag made a call with an 18% chance of hit it, and didn't win anything in addition to the money put in. So it only got 2 to 1 odds, which not the best there. Now on the upside, or the positive side, the lag does get the $30 pot. So again, opponent dependent. Let's take a look at an example from the opposite of the spectrum. Here there is a tag, and the tag has King Deuce, and the tag limps in on the button. The tag has 400 behind. Now a leg has limped in earlier with Jacks. For some reason the leg didn't raise, and the leg also has a $400 stack behind. Well, the flop comes Deuce, Deuce, King, and the leg checks. The tag decides, well, there's $10 in the pot. Okay, tag decides to bet and try to get some money in the pot, so the tag bets 5. Everybody folds except for the leg. The leg decides to call 5. Okay, we've got a pot here, $20. Now there's only 2 jacks left in the deck out of 45 cards that can help the leg. Leg doesn't necessarily know that, but if the tag actually has what the tag has, the leg can't win very often. That comes out to approximately 4.4%. However, in this case, implied odds are actually very high, and the leg hits the jack on the turn. Now, because of this specific board here, the tag starts playing really aggressively and ends up putting the entire $400 stack in the pot by the time the river is dealt. So in this case, the implied odds were huge on the really low percentage call by the leg of hitting the 2-out jack here. So again, implied odds are opponent dependent. They're situationally dependent, and you got to read the situation correctly, and there's a lot of different variants at play. But that's a brief overview of how implied odds work in poker. Thank you for watching.